So I wasn't planning on talking about Jeffrey Epstein because it involves politics and it's just something that I just don't like talking about politics. But you know what? Fuck that. This story is so interesting and I just love talking about it because I just love making fun of our American government sometimes. And this is a perfect example of that. Because the way they're covering up everything to do with the Epstein files and everything is so fucking goofy to me. And you all know who Epstein is. A guy who had an island, who did a lot of fucked up shit, had a lot of fucked up people on that island, and including politicians, rich people, like celebrities or whatever, you know. And it's always been like a known thing. There's never been like a, what's it called, for sure list of people who've been there, this and that, but it has been a thing that's been like talked about and circulating for so long. And him killing himself in his jail cell was like, okay, I mean, nobody fucking believes that because of like how fucked up that thing was, and him being in prison just would air everything out. And so nobody fucking believes that he killed himself. But the government, or at least Donald Trump, I'm gonna talk about Donald Trump for a minute. Him during his campaign was campaigning how with him being president, this and that, blah blah blah, he was gonna release the Epstein files. It wasn't the biggest thing he campaigned, but it was something he talked about. And even when after he became president, he even talked about how, like, you know what, we're gonna release the footage, we're gonna release the list and everything like that. Just you hold on. Thanks to me, America is gonna be able to like punish all these naysayers and all these no good, like, bad people, this and that, blah blah blah. And so it was like a really big thing, and it was like, yeah, you know, fuck yeah, at least that, let's go. And now it's all just like been blown out of proportion because literally none of that is happening in the best way possible. Because it's not a matter of like, hey, we can't release it because of something, this and that. No, they completely deny it. Oh my fucking god. Like, you know when you're a little kid and you break a vase in your mom's house because you're playing ball inside? It's like, who broke that vase? You're the one there holding the ball with no one in the house. Obviously you broke the fucking vase, and that's what the government's doing. They're like, hey, this list was never real, and this footage is like exactly what you guys need to see. But it's obvious it's not, and there's so much proof of against all of this happening. And I'm gonna start with the footage because apparently Jeffrey Epstein did kill himself, and in that footage it's like raw footage of the entire time, so you see that nothing was happening. But it wasn't. It was not at all. In fact, it's been proven by the actual metadata, according to this article, that it was just clips stitched together. And you know what? Let me read this to you so you can actually know what I'm talking about. So essentially, the United States Department of Justice released what's it called, full raw surveillance footage from the camera positioned near Jeffrey Epstein's prison cell where he was found dead. What's it called? Basically, just to prove that it was suicide, nobody was there. But when you look at the metadata, or here, just when you look at the metadata embedded in the video and analyzed by Wired, the independent video forensics experts show that rather than being a direct export from the prison's surveillance system, the footage was modified, likely using professional editing tool Adobe Premiere Pro. The file appears to have been assembled from at least two sources clips, saved multiple times, exported, then uploaded to the DOJ's website, where it was presented as raw footage. Yep, I fucking love that. Because these are the motherfuckers running our country, and they can't even, like, try to make sure that that isn't something that they're covering up. You know what I mean? Because obviously people are going to look into this. Obviously, this is such a suspicious, such a crazy story that people are going to look into it and think, hey, we don't believe this. Let's make sure everything is right. And no, obviously it wasn't fucking right. Because, like, it just seems like it was modified. And, like, the best version of saying this is that, hey, the clips were just too long to be saved onto one file, so they put them together. Which is such a nice way of just like trying to defend them in some kind of way. But it's like a matter of like, no, I don't think that would be the case. Like, there's no way these guys that are really rich and have all this power and this and that cannot afford to put one clip on there, if that makes sense. If like they don't need to be splitting anything, or they don't need to have two separate clips for nothing. And so that defense I don't believe in at all. And even Wire's trying to like be nice about it and be like, hey, you know what? We could be wrong. This could be completely wrong. And, you know, they say that it's unclear what has changed and it doesn't prove deceptive manipulation. But I think it does. I truly think it does. And to me, it's so fucking funny. And coffeezilla, the man, the god, the fucking best YouTuber that I know of, like, he even pulled it out himself. And this is what he has to say about it, because he is so much better at this than I am. Please watch his video and please subscribe to him because he's an awesome motherfucker. Like, I love his videos so much.
Data myself. This is what it looks like. You can see that there's these ingredients file path here where you can see 4 different files. 2 of them are just identical. So 2 unique files here that have been basically stitched together is the most charitable interpretation. But look.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's like a matter of like, yeah, I mean, that doesn't prove anything, but it does prove something. You know what I mean? But go watch this video because it's way better than this one, 100%. But it blows my mind how, it's like a matter of like, hey, something says fishy here. Can you please explain what's going on, this and that? And they're like, no, nothing's fishy, nothing this and that, blah, blah, blah. But even experts themselves, like, obviously, you can argue that coffeezilla is not an expert. He's just a YouTuber. And even, like, okay, whatever. Let's just make the argument that he's just a YouTuber. He doesn't even know what he's talking about or this and that. There's people who are professionally, like, they're literally, like, that's their career. Focusing on making sure digital evidence is, like, good proof against their witness or against their defendant or the person they're attacking. Like this guy right here from the same article. Like this guy, Haney Farid, a professor at UC Berkeley whose research focuses on digital forensics and misinformation. And even he disagrees with what's going on. He even treats it like it's a complete load of BS. Whereas like just like physical evidence, he explains digital evidence must be handled in a way that preserves its integrity. Metadata, while not always precise, can provide important clues about whether that integrity has been compromised. And he's so fucking right, 100%. And like, even look at this. Like the next line, if a lawyer brought me this file and asked if it was suitable for court, I'd say no, go back to the source, do it right. Do a direct export from the original system, no bunky business. And I agree with that so fucking much. Like, why else? Like, at this point, this right here proves that the government 100% just doesn't really care. I guess you could say they're just like, okay, what are you gonna do? Sue us? And that's literally what's gonna happen. Like, what are we gonna do as people? Like, I don't see any way to get anything out of them from how shady this video even is. Because another thing he points out is the video aspect ratio shifts noticeably at several points. Like, again, what the fuck is going on? It's so fucking goofy to me, honestly. But like I said, literally, like, it doesn't matter because the government has no, like, they clearly don't want to release the footage. They clearly don't want to release the list. They clearly don't really care to do it, and they don't really care about being proven wrong, except for Donald Trump. Because literally, like, this could have just been like the news, and okay, whatever. Will be mad, we'll be annoyed, and we'll send a lot of hate, and we'll do like, what's it called? We'll be against you guys for a cool minute, but it's gonna fade away because that's the unfortunate thing about the internet. The internet, the craziest news fades away in like at most a month, and that's just how sad it is. But it's just really the truth. But my boy, Donald Trump, he on his social media website, Truth Social, he released an entire like small article, literally just doubling down on how fucking ridiculous this entire Jeffrey Epstein situation is, and not saying how crazy in terms of like, oh hey, you know what, this is why you should believe us. No, he doubled down and was like, oh yeah, so we're right, and that list that was like gonna be released was completely made up by the Democrats, the left side, the bad guys. Do you really want a list that they made up, that they could have lied about, that this and that? And it's so fucking funny to me. So like I said, if you support Trump, good for you, love that for you, like no hate on you whatsoever, this and that. But I just find this really funny. I really do. And I'm not going to read the whole thing just because it's like a matter of like just really long. You can read it yourself. But the way he starts this is even fucking better. What's going on, my boys, and in some cases gals? They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job. We're on one team, MAGA. Not even the United States, MAGA. And I don't like what's happening. We have a perfect administration, the talk of the world, and selfish people are trying to hurt it all over a guy who never dies. What do you mean? He is dead. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, you've told us that he's dead. We have a perfect administration. Oh, what's it called? Jeffrey Epstein for years. For years, it's Epstein over and over again, blah, 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 having publicity for files written by Obama, crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration who conned the world with Russia hoax, 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, and more. They created the Epstein files, just like they created the fake Hillary Clinton, Christopher Steele dossier that they used on me, and now my so-called friends are playing right into their hands. So you're saying that it's out there. You're saying there is a list. You're just saying it's made by the left. So why not release that list then and be like, hey, here's the list that they made, but it's fake. Just FYI, this is not real. And obviously they're not gonna do that because he even says he calls himself out as well. They tried using that against me and now my so-called friends, and it's like, what do you mean, man? What the fuck do you mean? 100%. But the point is, he just goes on and on and on about like defending himself and how this and that, blah blah blah, and how the files are complete bullshit, and how we should be focusing on this instead of that, blah blah blah. And it's just so fucking goofy to me, honestly. But their story is not adding up in any way whatsoever because they don't really have a reason for doing what they did. Like they released the footage, yeah, but they don't have a reason for stitching them together. Like I really don't find that to be a good reason. Like, hey, maybe these two files are too long and that's why they put it together. I don't find that to be a good reason because it's very weird. Like that whole situation, you know what I mean? Like that's weird in how there's no defense for it, and even people like that are professionals in court cases are questioning it. Like, maybe something's happening there. And then doubling down and being like, not even doubling down. I don't even know what the fuck that's called. Whenever it turns into like a, hey, you know what? This is actually a list that's there, but it's not from us, so therefore it's fake news. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, literally, what the fuck do you mean? They're trying to cover this up in the worst way possible, and I can't think of a good reason why anybody would believe that. I really don't think, like, the only reason to believe that is because it comes from the person that you like trust. I guess you could say, like, trusting Donald Trump. You trust him so much that, hey, you know what? He's 100% right, and we should just listen to the guy. No, like his source is literally, trust me, bro. That's literally his fucking source, and I just love how it's just so fucking messy right now. And there's no fix to this. There's no fix. I don't think they can release anything that's not like, I don't see how they can fix this in any way except releasing the Epstein files. Because something they could do that we just would never know is release the Epstein files, but literally adjust them, if that makes sense. Like, I just feel like if they adjusted him in any way, shape, or form, obviously it'd be horrible. It'd be the worst thing to happen because, like, what's the point in even releasing them if you're gonna fucking alter them? But we wouldn't know that. We wouldn't know any different because we just don't know what the files fucking hold, if that makes sense. But, like, that's the only thing I can see fixing them because right now we're all in completely just, like, stunned by how dumb the government is in trying to cover this up because they're doing it so badly. And I really, really wish that something would happen. I either want them to keep defending this because it's really funny and I want to see how far they can go, like deep into like their own asshole of trying to like just like defend it in the worst way possible. I want to see how far they can go, or I want them to actually release the files. I really do want that. Now, are either of these things gonna happen? I don't know. The files aren't gonna get released. I know that. There's gonna be no solid proof from the government that Epstein killed himself, and there's gonna be no like nothing from this will ever come up again, unless maybe in the next presidency in 4 years. But like I said, I think this thing will fade away by then. But I have to wait and see how they keep defending this because I feel like it's gonna keep happening, and I feel like I'm ready for the fucking ride. I really fucking am. And am I glued to this story? No. But I definitely do want to come back to this. I want to come back to this so badly, and I hope everything works out horribly for them. I really fucking do. I just want to laugh at them so fucking bad. But now I'm just ranting. But honestly, take care, and hopefully we see what happens next. Bye.